morning to our virtual audiences. We're just going to start here in just a few moments. We're going to gather our in-person audience and be right back with you. It's actually, I believe, wait, let's just play with it for 1 second before we start. It would be nice. I'm just going to say a quick. Okay, I think we're all set and ready to go. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's Coffee at 10. Coffee at 10 lectures are made possible thanks to Charlotte-Boyd County Community Foundation and the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs. Special thanks to Roast and Toast for providing coffee and pastries for our in-person audiences. It's always welcome on the morning. Today we're going to talk about Paint Brand Traverse. I'd like to have you join me in welcoming CTAC's Vice President Megan Kelton. Megan is on the leadership board for Paint Brand Traverse. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for giving me a fun reason to make a beautiful drive from Traverse City to Petoskey. Like Alyssa said, I am the Vice President of Crooked Tree. I'm based down at our Traverse City location. I've been with Crooked Tree since 2015 when Crooked Tree opened up in Traverse City. And prior to that, I worked for many, many years at Interlochen Center for the Arts in the marketing department. Paint Brand Traverse is kind of the cornerstone of our programming in Traverse City. It's the biggest event we do. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history, how the event works, and be happy to share information and take questions. And I also want to share at the end who our 36 featured artists are for our August event. Beautiful picture of former artist Kathleen Hudson painting out at Sleeping Bear Dunes. So Paint Brand Traverse is a plein air painting festival and competition, and just a little plein air 101. Plein air comes from, it's a French term meaning in the open air. So these are painters working live on location outdoors. And the real challenge of it is that they're working much more quickly than in a studio where a painting might take days or weeks or even months. So their challenge as plein air artists is to capture the scene, interpret the scene, and also convey the atmosphere, the mood, really put the viewer in to that situation and that scene. And of course, in Traverse City and Petoskey and all of Northern Michigan, this time of year and that part of the summer is particularly capturable. So Paint Grand Traverse began in 2018. So that means this year is our 5th annual event, which, having done this now for, I can say, half a decade, feels pretty significant and feels pretty good. We even had a version of Paint Grand Traverse in the summer of 2020, when, of course, we were heavily dealing with COVID. We had a shorter event that year and had more online components. But the basic activity of being outdoors and painting, fortunately, was very safe and accessible for all of our artists. So that was an interesting year. But so this is our 5th year. So we've got some new, big, exciting things planned for the 5th year, which I will talk about. But when we launched in 2018, it coincided with Crooked Tree in Traverse City hosting the Oil Painters of America Summer Salon Show. So that was really the first time we had brought in a, quote unquote, national kind of level show to Traverse City. So that provided just an amazing springboard then to launch this Paint Grand Traverse event, which of course we hoped would become an annual event, but at the time we needed to see how that would be received. Our goal with Paint Grand Traverse was really to put Traverse City on the map in this sort of capacity that we have so much natural beauty in our area, between Old Mission and Leelanau County, where all the farms and vineyards are. We have Sleeping Bear Dunes, downtown Traverse City, the downtowns of other little villages in our area. There's just a lot of really great, inspiring scenes to capture for our artists. So that was kind of the genesis of the idea. And that too, Traverse City being a little bit bigger, we have some more of the infrastructure that you kind of need to have a week-long festival in terms of hotels and restaurants and airports, although most of our artists do drive because they are schlepping their easels and all their materials. This is a painting by featured artist Robin Roberts, who's come back. I think this will be his 3rd year with us, and he won the Best of Show award, not with this painting, but with another painting in 2020. So just to kind of give you an overview of plein air events around the nation, and again, this kind of feeds into why we wanted to do a quote unquote national level plein air event in Traverse City, is that, there are big ones in Sedona, Jupiter, Florida, Telluride, Cape Ann, Massachusetts has a great one, Laguna Beach. It's not on the list, but Easton in Maryland, Door County in Wisconsin, so just across the lake from us. There are all these festivals in these really gorgeous areas, and we kind of said, well, hey, we have as much scenic beauty as any of these places, so we're a great place for one of these. And being that Door County is one of the largest, one of the most prestigious, and it's just across the lake from us, it happens just a couple of weeks before ours, means that some of the artists will do that circle around the lake. They'll do Door County, drive around Lake Michigan, and come up to Traverse City. So it really is kind of perfect. They could take the ferry. I love that. It's like the year we put the artists on a chairlift, but I'll talk about that later. So just to kind of give you an overview of how the week works, and I kind of joke, Paint Grand Traverse isn't an event, it's 26 events. So over the course of the week, and the events kind of break down into 3 general categories here. So there are tons of opportunities to go out and see artists paint, and we encourage them to do that. So, we send them out to, over the years, of course, it's been a lot of wineries, wine and art. For some reason, there's a synergy there. I'm not, not sure what that's about, except it makes perfect sense. And then, different agricultural destinations, parks, landmarks, lighthouses, Sleeping Bear Dunes, you name it. We try to pick out a handful of what we call featured painting locations each year, and put artists there and really promote those places as where you can go to see art, and then enjoy whatever that location is, of course, yourself. Part of that category too is at the end of our event, at the end of the week, we have what is a quick paint competition. So again, another opportunity to see artists paint live and in person, and that's a competitive event where the artists are challenged to complete a painting in 2 hours, which if any of you are artists out there, you know that is fast. It's a 4-minute mile, 2-hour painting. It's the same thing. In the second block here, we talk about our art sales and celebrations. So during the course of Paint Grand Traverse, we'll give away about $15,000 of cash and prizes, which is really, really great. But we also want to sell a ton of artwork. Like any sale through Crooked Tree, a portion of that is going to benefit Crooked Tree. The majority is going to benefit the artists. And art sales are kind of what this is all about, connecting artists, our landscape, and people who love both together. So we do that in a couple of ways. The big one is our Collectors Gala event, which is kind of the ticketed party soiree. And then to this year, we've added the day after a community block party, which is going to be free and open for folks. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And then we also have a pretty robust education component of Paint Grand Traverse. So we have a live demo series. So Monday through Thursday of the week, each day, and sometimes twice a day, you can come to Crooked Tree and see a live painting demo by mostly local and regional artists. And if the weather's great, we're outside in Hannah Park, which is right next door to Crooked Tree. And if it's not great, we come inside. But when people say, well, what are these events? It's kind of like watching like a Bob Ross episode, but in person, right? So the artist is painting, they're doing their happy little trees, but they're explaining to you their process and their approach. And even if you're not an artist, these are always super interesting. So, and they're free. And this year we have 6, which is the largest number we've ever had of them. And then we also will have some classes and workshops. A few years ago, we started doing a workshop called Fearless First Timers. So that's an outdoor painting experience, either for people who are have never picked up a paintbrush in their life, or maybe they have, but have never taken it outside. We have a wonderful instructor, leader of our local plein air group, teach this class. And the last couple of years, we have sold out, added a second session, and sold that one out again. So we may yet do that this year. And then it's not on here, but we will also have a workshop, usually right before or right after the main week, with one of our featured artists. Some of you might recognize that young man. That's Kevin Barton from Traverse City, or from Petoskey, down at Chateau Chantel on Old Mission Peninsula. You see in the upper left there, the Power Island, that's West Bay. And that evening he was painting at Jazz at Sunset, which is a ticketed event that they do at Chateau Chantel. It's just unbelievably gorgeous. The music, the art, the wine, everything. It's a perfect night. So now I'll talk about our featured artists and who they are and how they come to us. Each year we endeavor to have between 35 and 45 artists. This year it's 36, and they come to us in a couple of different ways. Say 3 different ways. First, we hand invite some artists. So these are artists who maybe we've noticed have been winning awards at other major plein air events throughout the country. And actually our first year, before we were actually a thing, this is how we invited all of our artists. We just reached out and made cold calls and said, hey, we're starting a plein air event. I can't tell you anything about it because it hasn't happened yet. So, artists will typically be interested to know, attendance and sales, and they want to know that they can do really well at an event before they commit to it. What was really cool that first year, though, as we're making those calls, and I have to give a shout out to another local here, Elizabeth Polly, who's based up in Harbor Springs. She is an artist who had been to many of these national plein air events and really helped us build that initial artist list of who would be good and who to call. So, and that, was really a foundational block of our event. But, anyway, that first year when we were, again, cold calling these artists, we didn't know what the reception would be, but I'll tell you, when I was making those calls, if they had heard about Northern Michigan, they were in. They didn't care. They were like, yes, I want to come. I love to go there. I've heard about the wineries. I've heard about Sleeping Bear Dunes, Lake Michigan. Of course, they knew it. So it really wasn't difficult to recruit, which was great. So that's kind of how the artist invitation process started. Now that we're into year 5, again, we still reach out to some artists who, again, have won other major awards. Artists who won major awards at Paint Grand Traverse the year before and had strong art sales, we also offer an invitation back, and they almost always all accept it if they don't have a schedule conflict. And then we have an open application process. So that typically launches in January and February. Folks can apply. We run that through callforentry.org. And this past year we had, I think, around 100 applicants for, well, I don't know how many open slots we had at that time, but about 100 applicants. And we could have had 50 artists at this year's event, and they would have all been wonderful and well qualified. And it's just really great as the word about Paint Grand Traverse gets out, the caliber of artists who apply to our event, it goes up and up and up each year. So it's really wonderful. And 2, especially coming out of COVID, knock on wood, fingers crossed, artists are a little more willing to travel. So we're seeing more applications from across the country. And for next year, we are, I think probably going to figure out how we can open it up to Canada and Mexico, so we can truly be like a North American, I can say we're a North American or international event. So it's exciting to see the growth in who is applying and who wants to come. Yeah, so I mentioned the $15,000. So that's a mixture of cash and prizes. Our Best of Show award is a $2,500 cash award, and then about another $2,000 of in-kind awards from Plein Air magazine. So that's a pretty good prize, and it really serves as a draw to get folks to want to apply and come to our event. Another, of course, the artists are, we couldn't do this without the artists, but the other group we couldn't do this without our volunteer teams. So we kind of break our volunteer jobs into kind of different groups. The volunteer sign up just went live a couple of days ago. So if anyone's in the audience thinking they want to hang out with us for a week in August, or even like 3 hours in August, talk to me and we'll hook that up. But in short, we have event ambassadors. So those are folks who basically go out to our featured painting locations and kind of hang out and tell the spectators what's going on. Of course, some folks will go out to a winery looking for the artists, but then also there are other folks who just happen to be at the winery that day. They see all these artists around, they say, hey, what's going on? So our ambassadors have the fun job of explaining, hey, what's going on, and handing out our program and rack cards and everything else. We have a group of what I call sales concierges. So this isn't a high pressure sales job, but these are folks who at the gala or at the quick paint competition, if someone wants to buy a painting, they just help collect the buyer's information, direct them to the checkout station, just kind of make that process go really smoothly for the buyers. Special project and events that kind of runs the gamut from setting up tables, stuffing artist packets. We do swag bags every year. Those are our special projects team. We have wonderful volunteer photographers who, you've seen some of the images captured, who donate their skills and equipment for free. And we have, thankfully, a rather massive library of just amazing images from the past 4 years, which when we come to market the event, of course, come in really handy. So we love our volunteer photographers. Our artwork team, those are folks who are actually physically handling artwork. So for example, when we have the collectors gala, the artists turn in their paintings that morning, and they'll do 5 to 7 paintings per artist. And then we have about 4 hours to hang them all and get them ready for jurying. So it's over 200 paintings. So our artwork team works really hard for us. We have folks who help with food and beverage for the Collectors Gala. So replenishing buffets, tending bars, working backstage in the kitchen, that sort of thing. And then we have volunteers who help us set up and host our live demo series. Another really crucial component of this event that not everyone is aware of are our artist host homes. So when our artists come here for a week, they are put up in basically folks who have volunteered their guest room or a condo they're not using, or a cabin that's on their property. It kind of runs the gamut. But if you think about, I'm sure it's the problem here in Petoskey too, but if you think about hotel prices in Traverse City in August, 7 nights at $350 a night, it would not be feasible for our national artists to come here having to pay that. So our host homes really make this possible for a lot of our artists to come here. Now, some will drive an RV, and what they're looking for is just a place to park, or some even prefer to camp. And so we have a list of campgrounds and such, but most of our traveling artists are put up in volunteer host homes. And then as volunteer host homes, our hosts get tickets to the gala, and then some discounts on artwork if they choose to buy. So we try to build in some perks to that program. But again, what's really lovely is going into year 5, we have some artists now who come, maybe they've come back multiple times. They request to stay with the same host. They become friends with the same host. They communicate all year round, like to see those kind of friendships and relationships kind of happen through this process is really pretty cool. I talked a little bit earlier about the opportunities to see the artists paint. I do want to call out something I didn't mention though, which is our sunset paint out, which this year is happening at the Delamar Resort in Traverse City. Some locals might know that is the former Holiday Inn. It's right on the water, just east of downtown, but it's gone under a beautiful renovation. They have this expansive patio bar, and that sunset paint out and the quick paint are kind of the 2 opportunities to see all 36 artists painting at the same place and time. When we do our featured locations, we might have 8 artists here and 10 artists here and 4 artists here. They're split up into little bit groups, but that sunset paint out this year is Monday night. So it's kind of our first official public event, and it's where you can see all 36 artists painting and enjoy the waterfront patio there. Some people ask, what is the etiquette for watching an artist paint if they go out to one of these locations or stumble across an artist? And I'll tell you, don't breathe over someone's shoulder, no one wants that. But, you can see from the picture, the artists generally, and these artists who come to our event are, they're pros at this. They do these events frequently. And they know too, if they can strike up a conversation about what they're painting, strike up a relationship with the person who's curious about the painting, maybe they'll sell that to them. So there is that angle, but artists in general are welcome to that, welcome that interaction and don't mind people watching. I mean, they know they're out in public, they know that they're on display, and that's part of the event. So don't feel weird about kind of, hovering a respectful number of feet away and watching what they're doing. That is absolutely encouraged. Again, the educational opportunities, I think I talked about most of them already. That's David Westerfield up there giving a live demo inside our Carnegie Rotunda. So for those Petoskey folks, Crooked Tree Traverse City is also connected to a Carnegie Library. So we have that symmetry there. All right, and like I said, the Collectors Gala, and this year that's on Friday night, that really is the marquee event of the week. It's a ticketed event. Tickets are $60. And the idea is that the folks who go to that event get to view the juried collection of paintings. So again, it's over 200 paintings before the general public, and have the opportunity to buy before the general public. Also at the gala, we do a great spread of food. bars and cocktails. We have a specialty cocktail. Our acronym for Paint Grand Traverse is PGT. So we do a specialty cocktail called the PG Teeny, which is always fun. And we'll have live music. And it's just a great summer art party. All the artists are there, the host homes, the sponsors, just people who love art, Crooked Tree members. It's a really great party. It's a really great vibe. And that is the night that we present our major awards. So it's very exciting too. I didn't talk about our awards jurors. So each year we bring in a person to jury and to select the major award winners. And this year we found a juror right in our own backyard in Grand Rapids, Ken Cadwallader, who is a former president of Oil Painters of America, a signature member of the American Impressionist Society. And he was involved here at Crooked Tree in Petoskey in the mid-teens, I think at an OPA or an AIS show. So he was familiar with us, but I think he's going to be great. We've had other jurors who are kind of luminaries, elder statesmen, elder stateswomen of the plein air world. So each year we try to bring in someone different and special. Ticket sales do benefit Crooked Tree's year-round programs, as do art sales. So again, like buying a painting at Paint Grand Traverse is a great way to make a donation to and support Crooked Tree, because you get to make a donation to Crooked Tree, feel good about that, and take home a beautiful work of art. So that's a highly encouraged activity at the Collectors Gala. New this year is our community block party. So going to take a time travel back to 2018. We had our Collectors Gala. It was our first year. We sold out and then some. Phones were ringing off the hook that whole day, people trying to get in. And, you know, at some point we had to say, fire code is a thing, so we can't let more people in. I mean, it was that big. So to kind of accommodate that unanticipated demand, we threw up on the schedule. We said, okay, Sunday morning, we're going to open up super early and do a morning after sale. So we'll invite everyone in, we'll sell more art. And that was also really well attended. And we sold a ton of art. So we've done the morning after sale now for a few years. And the community block party is the outgrowth of that. We said, okay, in our 5th year now, we want to do something really special for our community and for the folks who, you know, live, work, visit us. So we're going to take that morning after sale and just blow it up, make it bigger, make it better. So we are reserving all of Hannah Park that Saturday and blocking off the section of 6th Street in front of Traverse City or in front of Crooked Tree. We're going to have our pint-sized paint out for kids that day. We've had that event before. We're just moving it to the Saturday. Our quick paint competition, again, we've had that event every year. We're moving it to that Saturday, but plus we're adding live music, food trucks. We'll have different nonprofits on 6th Street doing different kid activities. Traverse City has a thing called Friday Night Live. I don't know if Petoskey has something similar, but they block off the street and have different nonprofits, and it's a really fun evening. So we're kind of recreating that at Crooked Tree. And then it's the public premiere of the Paint Grand Traverse exhibition. So again, that additional opportunity for the public to come in and see the juried collection of work to buy if they want, but then also activities going around in front of, to the side of the building all day that day. And Downtown Traverse City Association is also having an art fair about a block north of us that day. So, you know, lots of opportunities in Traverse City that day to see and enjoy art and take the kids down. That's my pint-sized painter right there. I use my kids in ads because I think they are the cutest, but also I don't have to worry about signing a photo release. So good job, models. Our pint-sized paint out is possibly, I don't want to pick favorites, but it might be my favorite part of Paint Grand Traverse. If you've been to Crooked Tree, if you haven't, we are surrounded on 2 sides by Hannah Park, which is along the river and has a kind of very pretty topography where it kind of stair steps down to the riverbanks. It's very lush, it's very green. So picture 100 super cute kids with little easels, little palettes dotting this park around us. And that's the pint-sized paint out. So we have kids from literally age 0. I mean, I've seen babies with a paintbrush doing this, up to 15. And then we do, we bring in a juror and we do some fun category awards for the older kids. So love the pint-sized paint out. It's free to register. And registration, you know, I'm a little bit worried we're gonna fill it up, but we'll figure out a way to accommodate as many kids as we possibly can. And we provide all the supplies, which is also super nice. The second big event that day is our quick paint competition. So again, that's that 2-hour competition. What's special about this though is our 36 featured artists participate in it, but then we also take up to 64 artists who want to register. So these are mostly local and regional folks. There's no application. They sign up, they pay a small registration fee, and they compete alongside our 36 national featured artists. So we do a best of show award that any artist can win. So imagine if you're a, you know, local artist, non-competing artist, and you grab that best of show award, how cool that would be. And then some different category awards for that open division and that featured artist division. We'll take artists ages 16 and up in the quick paint competition, and the whole event is followed by a really quick sale. So you can grab a painting. The price points are a little bit lower for the quick paint competition just because of the nature of it. But you know, if there's an artist who you really love, who maybe their gala painting was a little bit out of your budget, the quick paint is a cool opportunity to maybe grab a piece from a master at a really pretty reasonable price. So that's kind of a cool thing about the quick paint competition. And then following this all, and this was something that was born out of the pandemic. We didn't used to do this, but we give artists the option to hold over their work for an extended exhibition in our galleries through September 17th. Most artists will take us up on that. We'll sell all the artwork online through that period too. And we've shipped artwork all over the country during this period too. So it's really fun to, you know, send paintings off to Colorado or Florida or wherever folks are from, just because some of these artists have that level of following, right? That they have fans in these different places. And even if the buyer, they may or may not have any connection to the Grand Traverse area, but they want to buy that painting. So that's always really fun. So we'll have an extended exhibition for about 4 weeks. And that kind of concludes our event. That picture in the top left there, that is from we did a Small Wonders event. So this was a sale of paintings, little guys under 8 inches. Other beautiful photography, some of our pint-sized painters there on the right. And Alyssa, I did want to show, and then I'll wrap it up and take some questions, a slideshow of our 36 featured artists for this year. Petoskey folks sitting in the audience here, you'll probably recognize some folks from your general area here, but I'm really excited about the field. We have a number of artists who are brand new to Paint Grand Traverse, and a number of our favorites who are coming back. I think that's going to autoplay. All right, Kevin Barton, we talked about him. She is new to our event. She is from Pennsylvania. The last two were new to our event. Neil Hughes is coming back. Neil Hughes has won our Best of Show award now twice in a row. If he hits the trifecta, you know, good for Neil Hughes. Lori Feldpaw, she's local to Traverse City. Carol's coming back. She was here in year 1. Christopher Leeper, I think this is his 2nd time. Kristen Hosbeen's coming back for a 2nd time. Deborah Howard, she's local to us. She's from Omena. Krista Pisano, her paintings are teeny tiny and they are exquisite. Heather Martin came from a career in video game design before becoming a full-time fine art painter. Trish Morgan, some of you may know Trish. Oh, hi, Trish. Neil is in Suttons Bay. Hayo is another new artist for us. Christopher Copeland's from Minnesota, a new artist for PGT. James is also new this year. David Westerfield, he's in Glen Arbor, Empire, Traverse City area. Steve Griggs is from Colorado. He's teaching a sold out and then some workshop before Paint Grand Traverse this year. Katushka is a new artist for us. Kirk Larson was here in 2019 and is making his triumphant return. RL is new. Mark is not new, but has taught workshops for us a couple times. Mark Mahaffey is local in Empire, Michigan. Spencer Meager, some of you folks in Petoskey know him from workshop teaching. Jill Wagner has taught here. Lovely Pastelis. Carrie, you'll see that painting on the cover of our program this year and some other materials. Robin won the best of show. Elizabeth Polly, Harbor Springs. Teresa's from Florida, new to us. Stephen Wysocki is coming back for his second or third go round, and that's our 36. I'm sorry if that went by a little fast. You can go to paintgrandtraverse.com, click on the artist tab, and we have bios of all the artists, slideshows for each artist if you want to really dig into their work and kind of what to expect. And this can help you too, especially if you come to that collector's gala, to know which artists you're kind of seeking out that night. So yeah, that is Paint Grand Traverse in a very large nutshell. Does anyone have any questions? Well, I hope to see some of you in August. Again, our event dates are August 15th through 20th. And that exhibition will be through September 17th. Hope you'll come down to Traverse City to see it. Again, you'll be able to see everything online and purchase paintings online as well. But I do hope you'll make the trip. It's really a special event for us.
Before we go, we do have a couple questions on.
Okay.
What changes are you most excited about for this year?
The block party for certain. So I think I alluded to it, but our quick paint competition used to be a midweek event, and we did it off-site and at some really pretty cool locations. I got to talk about the chairlifts. First year we did it at Fountain Point Resort. Second year we did it at Crystal Mountain, and they opened up the chairlift so the artists could ride up the chairlift with their canvases and whatnot to paint from the top of the mountain. It was super cool. But being midweek, we just felt that moving it to Saturday, and especially coinciding with that great downtown art fair, we're just going to get a vastly larger crowd of people to come to that event. So I'm happy we can put together this big community day. We don't want folks to feel like Paint Grand Traverse is like an exclusive event or only for people with money or whatever. So that whole Saturday, everything is free and open to everyone. So that's what I'm most excited about.
Do you have any favorite stories from PGT's past, aside from the chairlift?
I do have a story, and I don't know if it'll be funny if you don't remember Liz Ahrens, the former executive director here. But this was shortly after Liz Erlewine, who you all definitely know, our visual arts director here, started. It was her first summer. An artist came up to me, and I think he had lost his keys, and he had he knew that Liz had them. So he calls me. It's like, hey, I lost my keys. Liz has them. I said, well, you're going to have to be more specific. We have two Liz's. And he says, well, it's the cute one. I said, well, you're going to have to be more specific. We have two cute Liz's. And he said, well, it's the short, cute one. I'm like, you're going to have to be more specific, Bob. We have two short, cute Liz's. And he said, the blonde one. And I said, Liz Ahrens. And then we just fell over laughing. It was so fun. But that's a little personal anecdote. The other story I love, and it's not so much a story, but as you can imagine, our Paint Grand Traverse event in 2020, again, the summer of COVID, was challenging for a lot of reasons, mostly because we didn't decide. First, we just canceled the event. Remember that spring, we were in a statewide lockdown. Like, there's no way this is happening. How do we have a gala? How do we have anything? And then as kind of the weather got better and people started like creeping out a little bit more, we said, okay, I think we can do something with this. So we planned basically a long weekend event. I think we had painting for 3 days, and we kept them closer to downtown Traverse City. So again, they had less time to paint, so that was a little bit stressful. But I think it was the second day, so that Saturday, a big thunderstorm rolled in and kind of ruined that whole afternoon for the painters. They're out in downtown, and it rolled in quickly and without any notice. They're taking cover under awnings and doing what they can to make the most of it because, they've got to complete these paintings. So that was unfortunate that it took out so much of that day and so much of that weekend. But some of the paintings from that afternoon were my favorite. A lot of the paintings we have, they're beautiful, they're sunny, warm, Northern Michigan summer days, but kind of these moody, dark paintings of downtown Traverse City with people kind of cowering under things. And they were just so interesting to me. And I really appreciated and respected the artists for making the best of what was really a not great situation on a few different levels. So PGT 2020 will always have a special place in my heart for that.
Okay, well, I think we can go ahead and end that. And thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.